Professor Mamphweli, thank you so much for joining us. Let's start off with this deal. What do we know about it? What do we know about what it contains and how it's structured?
Good morning to you and the viewers. So far, we don't have much detail in terms of this deal. All we know is that it's going to be partly loan and partly grant. How much portions of the loan versus the grant, we don't know as yet. We yet to learn of the finer details of the deal.
Let's talk about those in opposition of this deal. I saw yesterday the EFF saying they don't support the deal because they feel the president is auctioning off the country to the developed nations. Is that hyperbole, or have we paid too high a price?
I think that kind of thought is far-fetched at this point in time. What I know is that it's getting very difficult to get anybody to fund coal-fired power stations at this point in time. So the green finance, even if it comes as a loan, is coming with very low interest rates. So many people will know that Eskom is in big debt, in huge debt, and the biggest challenge with the current Eskom debt is the interest rate. So the green finance normally comes with a very low interest rate because the idea is to move away from coal-powered power stations and moving towards the green energy kind of aspects. And if we look at the current situation in South Africa, Eskom has got a just energy transition strategy where they are saying that while we decommissioning coal-fired power plants, we are going to replace them with renewable energy power plants. But we know that Eskom does not necessarily have the money because they are in huge debt. So this funding, in my view, especially the grant part, is very much welcome.
Is the 131 billion enough?
So if we look at the integrated resource plan, we are supposed to decommission 11,000 megawatts of coal-fired power stations and replace them with renewable energy. We're supposed to have about 20,000 megawatts of renewable energy capacity by 2030. So far, we have done about 6,800 megawatts. From the bid window 5 that came with 2,580 something megawatts, we'll be moving closer to half of the capacity that we need. So with the 130 billion rands, we can build up to between 4,000 and 5,000 megawatts. And that will move us very close to our target of having 20,000 megawatts of renewable energy capacity by 2030. So for me, it's not, we can't say it's 100% enough. We don't need a lot more of external funding because we also have our own internal processes that we're following to add the capacity into the grid. But it's a welcome financial injection, in my view.
A part of the just energy transition, Professor, is making sure that those communities that are rooted in the coal mining communities and in the energy sector are not left behind. Do we have a plan to make sure that those jobs that are at risk, those communities that are at risk, are catered for?
Yes, so if you look at the just energy transition strategy for Eskom and also some of the coal mines, you will realize that they are looking at things such as the repurposing of the coal-fired power stations and bringing on board some other business initiatives around the coal mining communities so that people can transition from coal mining to other economic activities. So there's quite a lot of jobs that will be created along those lines. And there's also the aspect of when the coal power stations get repurposed, the people who are working in the coal sector, some of them will be reskilled so that they are able to respond to the skills needs of the new power stations that will be the future.
Well, the plan seems solid, but as we've seen in the past, implementation is always our problem. So let's see if we can implement this Just Energy Transition Plan. Thank you so much, Professor Sampson Mamphweli, academic and green energy expert.